to InfoHub. In the headlines, another prisoner captured today. Prisoners moving to better holding area. Guyana and Spain signed visa waiver agreement, and mental health specialists being trained in problem management. These stories and more when we return. Thanks for staying with us. The prisoners being held at the Lusignan prison have been relocated to a better holding area, says Director of Prisons Gladwin Samuels. Paul McAdam has more.
Approximately 200 prisoners at the Lusignan facility have been moved to the recently constructed tarmacked area of the compound. Prison Director Gladwin Samuels said that work on the temporary holding facility began the day after the Georgetown prison fire on July 9.
Our intention is to, today, sanitize those prisoners who are currently in the walled area as described by the minister, who will be transferred to this area. We're looking somewhere in the vicinity of 450 of the prisoners. The others, we will continue to put arrangements in place to find alternative accommodations for them.
Samuels explained that the new holding area comprises 3 sheds over tarmacked areas that will also enable security services to have more control. Visitor and other amenities will be reinstated once all measures are put in place.
It is our hope that this environment will certainly provide a better environment, especially for those persons in there who are deemed to be a bit more vulnerable than those hardcore offenders who have been in various ways taking advantage of those prisoners. And I must include that there have been no reports of any sexual assault, because when I say taken advantage of, that might be taken wrong by members of the general public.
Initially, over 1,000 prisoners were transferred to Lusignan prison and housed in an open-air holding section. Around half of them have been moved to other prisons around the country. 151 are being accommodated in the main building of the Lusignan prison. From the newly completed prison facility at Lusignan, Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Officer in charge of the Mazaruni Prison, Senior Superintendent Alexander Hopkinson, is receiving all-round support since the intake of an additional 83 prisoners. Gabriela Patram tells us more.
Senior Superintendent Hopkinson said that he is currently receiving tremendous support from his staff despite them being a young batch.
The mindset is there already for anything to come to. They know what to be done because they are already trained in the area of any internal or external.
Hopkinson also pointed out that support is also coming from the RDC and the Mayor's office, among others.
We have also great support from the Bartica Police, Mr. Budram. We also having support from the Costello side, from the Army. So we're having a lot of support. I also, as much as the chairman, the mayor, I having support also from them. They lend their support.
Hopkinson confirmed that despite the addition of 83 prisoners, there is adequate ration and space for all inmates. For DPI InfoHub, Gabriela Patram.
Guyana and Spain now have a diplomatic visa waiver agreement, according to Foreign Affairs Minister Carl Greenidge. Here is Neil Williams with the details.
The Spanish Secretary of State for International Cooperation and Latin America, Fernando Garcia Casas, and Ambassador of Spain to Guyana, Javier Carvajosa Sanchez, visited Guyana recently. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Carl Greenidge, announced that a diplomatic visa waiver agreement was signed between the two countries. This agreement will allow for visa-free travel to the Kingdom of Spain for citizens holding a diplomatic passport. Spain is the 4th largest country in Europe and the 2nd largest in the Western Europe. Spain is also the 2nd largest investor in Latin America and the Caribbean. To travel to Spain, one needs a Schengen visa. The Schengen area is an area comprising of 26 European states that have officially abolished passport and all other types of border control at their mutual borders. This diplomatic visa waiver agreement will serve as a first of many relations to strengthen ties to Spain. The two countries have pledged to step up bilateral cooperation in various areas, including infrastructure, renewable energy, and trade and investment. Guyana and Spain have had diplomatic relations since 1979. Zenil Williams for InfoHub.
Tiffany Rodias now joins us to report that Guyana is on target for submitting its application for the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative in August.
National Coordinator of the EITI, Dr. Rudy Jadupat, said Guyana's acceptance as a candidate country is expected to be announced at the International EITI Secretariat Conference in October.
Hopefully that all of that will be completed and we can submit the drafts to the MSG meeting on 9th of August and get everything approved.
Guyana has already fulfilled 4 of the 5-step application process. The remaining step is the completion of a work plan.
That work plan must be published, and after that is done, we have the opportunity, or we will be eligible to submit our candidature application to the EITI.
Application to the EITI is expected to bring transparency and accountability in the new oil and gas sector. It will also be applied to the mining and forest sectors. The Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, EITI, is a global standard that promotes transparency and accountability in the management of a country's extractive resources by addressing key governance issues. For InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
Thank you, Tiffany. Gabriella joins us again to report that mental health specialists are benefiting from a problem management workshop.
Social workers, psychologists, and health education officers are also benefiting from the 5-day exercise. The training program is being held in collaboration with PAHO, WHO, and foreign facilitators are being utilized. It particularly focuses on anxiety and stress management.
The Problem Management Plus training is a low-intensity psychological training intervention for adults who are impaired by distress and dwell in communities where they are exposed to adversity such as loss of family, friends, or livelihood, sexual violence, or a family member who is missing. Individuals who experience adversity generally reside in impoverished circumstances where they lack social security, access to basic services, and opportunities to improve their livelihoods, which places them at increased risk of developing both mental health and social problems.
The training program is in keeping with the Public Health Ministry to decrease the burden of mental illness and its devastating effect on individuals by improving mental health service delivery. The goal is to have highly skilled and trained public health professionals.
Normally we believe the mental health program have to be managed or dealt with by experts in mental health, psychiatrists, neurologists, but with these problem management plus intervention training, we will be able to have non-personal train on helping those with mental health issue, at least from beginning, the first support.
Mental illness is a structural functional disorder of the brain that inhibits one's ability to cope with life, to manage the everyday issues, and to choose correct solution to personal problems. In Guyana, mental illness affects nearly 1 in 4 persons, with women, the unemployed, and young adults accounting for over 60%. The administration has been taking concrete steps to address the issue. In addition to the recently launched mental health unit and boost the capacity of the health professionals, plans are in train to establish a mental health institute which will offer counseling and occupational therapy. For DPI InfoHub, Gabriella Patram.
And as we close, Managing Director of GWI, Dr. Richard Van West Charles, is urging miners to take care of our waterways. More from Shiloni King.
Dr. Charles said that protection of the waterways is important.
Because at the end of the day, you need a legacy for your younger people to move on. So you don't want to have a situation whereby people are using all sorts of chemicals and methods to extract the gold. And at the end of the day, your young people are going to be left with a number of issues which are costly to remedy. So the protection of the environment and the waterways related to your lands, it's very, very critical in what you do for development.
Dr. Van West Charles encouraged miners to seek advice from the experts or even to do their own research on how to protect the environment.
There are a plethora of examples globally how many people have left lands barren and impacted negatively on the environment, on your own waterways, on the fish life, the flora, the fauna. So you've got to begin to think ahead about sustainable development and the generations of your own that are going to come behind, and what is the legacy you leave for them.
GWI has also been playing their role by way of outreaches to educate persons on safe mining practices. Additionally, GWI has distributed a number of jerry cans which are designed to instantly sterilize untreated water without the use of chlorine. Shiloni King for InfoHub.
Thanks for watching. Connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye.